So I'm about to read you guys a letter, and let me just say, I know there are a lot of people that may not be able to grasp this concept, but this was a download to me. It was a download to my lower self from my higher self. And it's a message that I needed to hear, but I was also advised to read this. And so I am going to read it because it's not just for me, but it's a message for me in particular, but it also applies to everybody else who this applies to. And you will know who you are when you listen. So if you have been questioning what I am about to read or dealing with it in your own spirit, then you will know that this is for you. Okay. Dear Tony, I see that you have been working on being more obedient to me, but right when you start getting to the power of your change, you recline. Why? Why do so many humans hold themselves back from such things? Why do we allow ego to override spirit? And then you feel guilt because you know you are stronger than your desires, but you let your habitual training become your life's box. Are you scared to lose your humanity? Are you scared to let go of your trauma? Are you scared to become who you are destined to be? Why do you fight against submission to your God self? I'm gonna read that line one more time. Why do you fight against submission to your God self? It is actually easier to listen than deal with the complications of not listening. Yet you know this and still choose not to become. The consequences will only get worse if you keep choosing ego instead of me. Because I am the best version of you. And I'm not talking about me when I'm reading this to you. I'm talking about my higher self, my God self. But to those this applies to, it's talking about your higher self. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna repeat that again. The consequences will only get worse if you keep choosing ego instead of me. Because I am the best version of you. And I need you to become my supreme light on this earth. There are several of you that are not listening completely. But in this time, you must be obedient to receive the downloads that you are here to give the people. I will only reward you through strict discipline. You can't play with discipline. And that is the key. So we cannot play with our discipline. And this is for everybody that this applies to. I really believe this applies to a lot of people because we tend to ignore our inner voice, that voice within. But it is speaking loud for a reason. And if you look at the state of our world right now, like we could have fun and all that. And hey, I done laughed a whole bunch of times today. But the reality is still the reality. And even though it is an illusion, it's a lot of things that have been put in place to make us think that we are blocked. But we're not blocked. All we have to do is listen to spirit, be obedient, and ascend. And even though I consider myself to be obedient, I have so many things that I am not obedient on, y'all. And I'm working on it. And it really does bother my spirit. it bothers my spirit when I am not being obedient and I give in to my desires, or the things that I want to do instead of doing what I know I need to do to propel, to go forward. And I know that this applies to a bunch of us. It's not just me. I really think it applies to the majority. But we have to be obedient. And there are a lot of us that are empaths, and we know that we have a purpose. We are here. We have faced death and survived, and we're supposed to be living within that purpose. And many of us are. Many of us are living, but we're borderline. We're on it, but we're not. Right? We're on it, but we're so used to the traumas that we've experienced in our life that we get stuck in that thought. We get stuck in that energy. And I have gotten stuck in that energy. There's so many things I've gone against still on myself. And I'm not going to front with y'all. Like, I don't want to front, because I want y'all to see that this is an experience. This is something that I'm going through. But if it's heavy on my soul, then it means I need to express it. So that letter was profound to me, and I was actually writing something else, another thought. I was writing something down for a concept for a video, and this just bombarded me. It was just like, stop, stop, write this. And I'm still gonna develop that, what I was writing on, because it's still a great message. But to acknowledge that, like, yeah, I can't just say I'm perfect. Of course I'm not perfect yet, but we all have the capabilities of being that. We all have the capabilities of becoming greater than we are. And if we don't take those steps, see, the world is crumbling right before our eyes, and we still singing rap songs and doing crazy stuff, and we're not even paying attention to our surroundings and how it is affecting us, how it's affecting our children, how it's affecting our soul, and the lack of discipline that we have in our soul right now. And I know a lot of people think like, oh my God, Toni, she's so strict, and and y'all, I don't know, y'all might even think I'm not fun. And I am a goofball. Those who know me really know that I'm a goofball. But at the same time, like, it's time to become, There was something I was thinking just when you saw me pause. I was thinking about this nurse when I was in the hospital, right? And I was having a pity party because I'm just like, who gonna want a rapper in a wheelchair, or who gonna want a rapper with a disability, like, in the industry? I was just thinking like I was confined to that box of what the industry expected. And I had just had my second brain aneurysm and first stroke, and I was partially paralyzed on my right side, and I still am, still working on me, but I accept my process, right? And so the nurse told me that instead of you crying, instead of you being mad at God, because at that time that was what I was feeling, she said the question you need to ask is why you had 2 brain aneurysms and a stroke and you survived. See, and I was still in my pity party mode, so I didn't want to hear it. But when I look at that statement, and then I look at right now, I'm supposed to be becoming. See, I'm not here by accident, but I'm here with purpose. And there's so many of us that are here with purpose. If you have survived death, if you have survived something that can kill you, then you are here with purpose. And if you are choosing not to live within that purpose, then you are going against the rules, because you were not supposed to physically be here, but you were spared. You understand? Because your higher self knows the potential of what you're supposed to bring to this world. So I'm not going to make a long video. I just wanted to read that. I actually sat down to still do my other video. I was not going to do this because I was thinking like, oh, people might not receive this. You know, this is kind of like off and talking to God, self and spirit and all of that. But I'm standing in who I am and who I'm becoming. And right now, I just really can't be concerned with what people think versus the goal and the journey and how we all are supposed to become. And right now, we are choosing not to become. And that message was for me. But that message applies to so many people. And like I said, and I'm going to leave this alone after that, if you have been through some harshness in your life, which, listen, especially melanin dominant people, we done been through some storms, especially if you done lived in the hood. You hear me? So if you have been through your storms in your life and you have survived what could have killed you, and mainly if it's more than once even, you're here with a purpose and you have to live within that purpose. So I love y'all. Check out my Alika lessons, my past stuff on YouTube. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. And also check out my new series, Tony Hickman Presents, on IG, but it's also going to be on YouTube. So I love y'all, and I promise I just bring y'all what comes inside my soul. So on that note, I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.